How would you like to get real estate leads for $1 to $2 using Facebook ads? Yes, real estate leads for $1 to $2 without having any previous experience using Facebook. Now, how am I so confident that you can achieve this type of result? Well, that's because we're doing this right now for national builders, large real estate brokerages, and individual real estate agents, including agents in our Agent First group. So today I decided to turn on the camera and show you exactly how we achieve these types of results. We're gonna talk about everything from creating the strategy, setting up the Facebook ads themselves, automating the follow-up, and even the script that we're using to call these leads. So if you're serious about growing your real estate business and want to use Facebook ads to do so, this is a video for you. And make sure to stay to the end because there's a special converting strategy that you don't want to miss out on. Now, for just meeting, my name is Jaime Resendiz, and I help real estate agents grow their business through effective online marketing. All right, so let's begin. Anything that's worth doing does require a plan if you're going to be able to duplicate it, make it sustainable, and ultimately make it work for you. So this right here is our plan. This is our roadmap that we're going to follow. We're going to get clarity on our goals. We're going to prepare the campaign. We're going to launch the Facebook ads. Then we're going to automate. And then, of course, we're going to have to call. All right, so let's talk about goal clarity. What does that even mean? Well, with goal clarity, we need to understand what is the outcome that we're looking for. What are we trying to achieve? I want to close more transactions. I want to grow my business. I want some additional gross commission income. I want more GCI. Now, of course, that's the obvious answer, but let's take it one step further. Who do we want to work with? Do we want to work with a bunch of leases? Do we want to work with a bunch of buyers? Do we want to work with a bunch of homeowners, aka a bunch of sellers? Now, all of those are valid and you can make a tremendous career with any one of them, but we do want to at least select one for our purposes today because that is going to be the avatar that we're speaking to whenever we launch these Facebook ads. So for our purposes today, we're going to work with buyers. Now, it's important to note that we could very easily work with sellers, but we have to make a decision and we're going to go down the buyer side because a lot of folks, a lot of agents are working the buyer side, especially if you're a new one. And now that we know who we're speaking to and who we want to work with, now we need to start thinking about what do we want to advertise to them. Now, here's where a video like this is very instrumental because you might know that you want to work with buyers, but you're still left with the question mark on, well, how do I reach them? Yes, I know that I'm supposed to do Facebook ads now, and I know what buttons to press, but what is it in the ad copy that I'm going to say? What am I going to offer? How does that work? So that's what we're going to look at right now. So here's some Facebook ad campaigns that are going to work incredibly well if you're trying to get some buyers. You can do a new construction campaign where you market homes that are brand new, which are going to bring you buyers. You could also launch a just listed campaign where you're marketing a property that just hit the market, aka was just listed, and you're gonna get buyers that way as well. Or you can launch an off-marketing campaign where you're offering a list of homes that are off-market. Those are some very effective types of campaigns that you can launch. So for our purposes today, we're gonna go with the middle one. We're gonna do a just listed campaign. Now, when I mentioned at the beginning that I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this step by step, I absolutely meant it. So I'm gonna do some screen sharing and I'm gonna show you the next steps that we're gonna follow. But before we do that, do me a huge favor. If you wanna see some other types of campaigns, the ones that I just mentioned, let me know in the comment section down below. Give me as much feedback as you possibly can because I wanna hear from you and I wanna make videos that you actually need. So now that we have goal clarity, we're gonna prepare our campaign. We know that we're gonna launch a just listed campaign. Now here's the question that I get all of the time. Well, Jaime, I'm brand new. I don't have a property that I'm taking out to market. This is why I'm watching this video. And that's okay. For you to launch this particular campaign, you do not need a listing yourself. And so everybody that's watching is able to execute on this strategy. I'm gonna show you how to secure a home that was just listed. And it's very simple. I'm gonna log into the MLS, which you have access to. I'm gonna find homes that were just put on the market, and then I'm gonna reach out to the individuals that have those listings in that order. So we're gonna log into the MLS and we're gonna find properties that have just hit the market. Now there's multiple ways for you to do that, but the easiest one that I would encourage you to do is just go to your residential search, which everyone knows how to do. And we're gonna knock out these active options. We're only going to go with actives, meaning so active contingent, option period, and all that stuff. Those are already under contract. So we're going to go here and we're going to see homes that just hit the market. So I'm looking at the past 48 hours or so, and I want below a certain price range. I'm going to go under 500,000 for several reasons. I want a home that is not luxury. I want a home that is attainable. So you know how y'all watch, and I watch as well, contestant shows, and you find yourself rooting for a contestant, mostly because they're relatable. We're looking for a relatable property here. So we're gonna click on the map, and there's gonna be a ton of properties like that. Let's see. So let's go in this area because I know there's a lot of new construction up here. So these homes, we're gonna click through, and what I'm gonna do for the sake of privacy, I'm gonna blur out the address here, but the exercise is gonna be the same. You're just gonna need to replicate it. So at bare minimum, you want to send out 5 invites to market a home. So do a quick little recap here. I'm looking for properties that just hit the market. So my next step is to click through these that I want to market that are close to me. And again, find that relatable home. I want a home that has a professional photography, that has a good appeal, that is not a fixer-upper, but also not a luxury property. I want that relatability. So I'm gonna click through here. And again, so I don't dox anybody or all that fun stuff, I'm gonna click through here and I'm gonna find those properties that I think are very relatable. So once I find these properties, I am going to go to the listing agents. I'm going to go to the listing agent section, and I'm going to email the listing agents. Now, this is just the beginning. So again, I'm going to go through here. We're going to fast forward. So you can see this in real time, but very sped up time. I'm going to go through here and find the homes that I want to market. All right, so now that I have my call list, think of it this way, let's do a quick recap. We're trying to find a property that just hit the market in order for us to advertise it on Facebook. So that is point number 1. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to solve for. So we went to the MLS and we looked for properties that just hit the market. Now we're not just gonna take that property and then market out to the world without having documentation that we ask for permission. So we're going to ask for permission. Now, when it comes to the question of, hey, can I market somebody else's property? Whatever questions that you have, reach out to your broker. You can ask questions in the comment section, but about that particular issue, but your broker at the end of the day is the one that is going to answer that final question. So especially if you're in a bigger brokerage, they might have some restrictions on that, or they might have the go ahead. Now, technically, at least here in the state that I practice, which is Texas, you have the rights. The broker is the one that has the listing. So they're the ones that have the rights to that. So they might make some additional concessions that might make it super challenging for you to market each other's listings. Whatever the case may be, go to your broker and ask about that. So for our purposes today, to make it more compliant, and the most compliant way that we have found to do that, we reach out to the agents, regardless if they're in our brokerage or not. We reach out to them and ask for permission. If anything else, is professional courtesy, at least in my opinion. So I have a call list, meaning I have a list of homes that I think fit the criteria that is going to play very well on Facebook. So again, I'm looking for a property that shows well, has some professional photography. I'm looking for a property that is relatable. I'm looking for a property that is single story. I don't want to do 2 stories. We just found that the single stories work incredibly well. Now, just a little pro tip here is we find that new construction, like from individual builders, so either a fully new built home or a home that was rehabbed, those work incredibly well. One, from the listing agent side, that the approval rate is much higher with those, and also from the presentation side, it works incredibly well. The most important thing here is that we're looking for properties that just hit the market. Second thing is we're asking for permission. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to ask for that permission. Now, this is the exact email that I'm going to send to every single listing that I liked. Subject header: can I help bring you a buyer? Very straight to the point. And in the text itself, beautiful home on blank, the address goes there. Would you allow me to market this out to my network? And then in parentheses is a Facebook community to see if I can bring you a buyer. And that is it. This is what we're going to send over and over and over again. At bare minimum, we want to send out 5 invites. And on average, we send out about 10 invites. And for every 10 invites, we are getting about 3 yeses. At the end of the day, Some agents are super strict on it. Some agents are not and just want you to bring a buyer. Either way, out of 10 messages that you send, I guarantee you're gonna get at least one yes. And that's all we need. We just need one. So I'm gonna fast forward here and I'm gonna send out all of the invites on the properties that we just found. All right, so the messages have been sent out. So at this point, again, we only need one to say yes. We don't need all 10, because that's not gonna happen. We don't need 5, we don't need 3, we just need one. So while those messages are going out into people's inboxes and they're reading them and deciding heck yes or heck no, again, we're not attached to the outcome outside of just one. We only care about one. And here's the thing, in the rare occasion that all 10 say no, guess what? Let's send out 10 more. There is somebody out there that wants their listing sold and that will allow somebody else to market it with them, for them, in collaboration with, whatever you want to call it. So while that's working, let's talk some Facebook ads. All right, so let's do a brief crash course on Facebook ads, because this topic alone can be 8 hours worth of material. Well, how do I know that? Well, because we have a course on this. So that's something that we built out so many different modules, so many different templates, so many different resources out there. So I'm gonna condense everything into one very cohesive explanation. So when it comes to Facebook ads, it's very simple. Number one, you're gonna need a Facebook account. So first steps first, get a personal Facebook profile. That's number one. Now, we're not gonna launch ads from the Facebook profile, so our personal profile, because that's not possible. You cannot do that. But that's gonna allow us to play with Facebook. So once we set up our personal profile, again, it's the number one that you probably have since 2007. So I'm not telling you anything new. The second thing that we're gonna need is a business page. A business page is what's gonna be used as the front facing. Think of it like what people are gonna see on the ad. So you need a business page in order to advertise. And it's very simple to create. You're just gonna go to the top right-hand side of your Facebook and then go to create a page. It is that simple. Now I have a full video breakdown on how to optimize your Facebook page, but for our purposes today, we actually don't even need an optimized page. So we just need the page to be out there. Now there are some elements that you are gonna wanna upload. It doesn't have to be perfect, but there are some elements. So number one, you need a profile pic uploaded, and you're also gonna need to update the information on that page, or else Facebook ads are not gonna be able to be run through there until you verify that information. But again, it's very simple. You just follow the prompts. There's gonna be about 7 steps and you're off to the races. So we're not gonna show you step by step on how to create that, because by the time that you're watching this video, that interface, that's gone. And it's very simple to do. Again, all you have to do is log into your profile, go to the top right-hand side, and go to create a business page, and you have that second element. And now that we have that, let's go on to the third step, and that's creating our Facebook business account. Now, some of you might already have a Facebook business account and you're ready to go. Or some of you might think that you don't have one, but you actually do. And some of you might not have one at all, and that's okay. So the easiest thing for you to know whether you have one or not is just go to Google and type in Facebook business account. And from here, you're gonna go scroll down to the very first account that you see. So here you see business.facebook.com, and you're gonna go to create account. Now, if it automatically takes you to a business account or a business suite, then you have one ready to go. But if you don't have one, it's gonna take you either to the Business Help Center or directly to the place where you can click create business account. It's gonna be super simple. So once you do that, all you have to do is go to create, put some basic information in there, and you have your business account ready to go. Now, it's important that you create this business manager account for several reasons. Number one, it provides some protection for you, because see what happens whenever you created that second step. On that second step, you created a Facebook business page. So you created a page dedicated to your business, which allows you to advertise on Facebook. When you did that, you created a personal ad account. That personal ad account is attached to you as a person. And in the event that for whatever reason, whether you're right or wrong in the way that you advertise, Facebook shuts down that personal ad account. In the event that that happens, you're fresh out of luck. You're not going to be able to advertise on Facebook any longer, at least with that personal account. And there's several loopholes that you can work through to actually, get back online, but they make it very, very challenging in order for you to ever advertise with them again. Now, again, the reason that we're going through and creating this business manager account is because it adds that level of protection, because it allows us to create another ad account, not our personal account. It allows us to create another ad account that we can operate within this business manager environment. Think of it like an umbrella. This business manager account becomes your umbrella, which allows you to create different assets that are not attached to you directly, that you have multiple options with. You can invite other people to collaborate with you on the ads now. You can invite other pages onto your business manager account. There's so many different things that you can do with your business manager account that you're not able to do if you're only advertising from your personal ad account. That one's tied to you. And the only way for other people to have access to that personal ad account is if they had your credentials. So please, 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 never, ever, ever, and I mean never, ever, ever share your personal credentials with anybody. If you're hiring a digital marketing company and they're asking you for your login, your personal login to Facebook, run. So now that we have our personal profile, now that we have our Facebook business page, now that we have our business manager account, we need to create that ad account that I just mentioned. So you're going to go to your business settings. So just go to business.facebook.com/settings and go to ad accounts. And most likely you're not going to have anything here. So you're going to go to add and you're going to create a brand new ad account. Don't import one. Don't ask for access to somebody else's. Just go ahead and create your brand new ad account. This way it's fresh as day. Now I can already hear some of you scrolling down to the comment section and say, my business settings does not look this way. Facebook has a billion different versions of interfaces. They're consistently changing things, improving things, breaking things, all that fun stuff. So you're not gonna everybody that's watching this, you're not gonna all have access to this particular layout. You have to work for it. Most of you are gonna go to the business suite automatically whenever you type in that that business.facebook.com/settings. It's going to take you to that business suite. So just go down to the gear icon and try to get to business settings. It'll say business settings. And once you get here, you can follow along. Now, with that being said, this is a preference thing. The layout that you saw, the layout in the way that it is, this is a preference thing because this is the one that I've used for years and years and years. I could very easily switch over to the business. Let me rephrase that. I can't very easily switch over to the business suite because it's very, very challenging. But if I were to switch over to the business suite, I would still have the same functionality, but it's going to be more challenging. So I become way too old school at this point to go and try to figure out where all these other buttons are. I'm just used to this interface. I know how to troubleshoot automation or integrations. I know how to troubleshoot ad accounts. I know how to troubleshoot access to people and these different accounts, all that fun stuff. So I'm just very familiar with this. I know you didn't sign up for this particular part of the video, but again, I already know the things that where we kind of trip up. We've onboarded hundreds of agents within our personal team alone. We worked with thousands of agents altogether. So I already know where we kind of lose track of where we're going. And this is one of them. So let's do one quick recap. We're getting our personal profile. That's very simple to do. Creating our business page, very simple to do. We start adding a complex level of complexity by creating our business manager account, but even then we're good to go. The third part of creating our ad account, this is where we lose a lot of people. We lose a lot of people, not because it's very, very hard to do. It's because the layout continues to change. We get frustrated. Even I myself have a very tough time keeping up on where all these buttons go. There's a reason that I gravitate to the layout that we just talked about. But we do need to create that ad account in order for us to have that level of protection that we talked about. Now, the fifth thing that we're going to do before we actually go through and start launching some ads is we're going to connect our business page to this account as well. So we're going to create our we're going to connect our Facebook business page and are going to connect it to this business manager, which is very simple to do. You're just going to go to pages, go to add, and then add the page from here. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you add a page, you have to be either the creator or the admin of that page. There's really no other way around it. Now, if you skipped step number 2 and don't have a business page, then go ahead and create a page. That's fine, okay. But when it comes to, again, adding a business page that you already have, you have to either be the creator of that page or have to be an admin, or else you're not going to be able to find it. So whenever you go to add a page, you just search for your page or just type in the URL and you're off to the races. All right, now we're all in the same room. Now we're at the place where we can actually launch the Facebook ad. Now notice, I don't know how long this video is already. I can tell you that it's going to be much longer here. Hopefully you can appreciate this level of detail. And let me know in the comment section down below. Put valuable, or put I have never seen this level of detail, or hey, this video sucks, it shouldn't be this long. Whatever you want to put down, let me know in the comment section down below. Give me some real feedback. But what I'm getting at is, notice that however long the video currently is, we didn't jump immediately into the business ad account and start launching ads. We didn't automatically go into the ads manager and start creating these campaigns. We first needed to have that goal. We prepped the campaign, which I have gotten some responses back already. So you're gonna be pleasantly surprised just in time for us to launch this. And now we are getting ready to actually launch the campaign. So this is the next step. We gotta build out this campaign in order for us to actually start generating leads. Now, in the very brief time that we've been recording, we already got not one yes, but we already got 2 yeses. This is the first yes that we have. And we also received this one with a very positive response as well. Now, I include everything just so you see that the exact same thing that I told you I was sending, I actually sent. All right, so now let's get to work. The moment that you've been waiting for, we're gonna go to our ads manager, and to get here, it's very simple. Just go to adsmanager.facebook.com and you're gonna be exactly where you need to be, which is right here. We're gonna go to create, we're gonna go to leads, and we're gonna go to continue. Now you can go down the streamlined version that Facebook gives you, but I really wouldn't suggest it, because whenever you're trying to make modifications and things along the way that should be simple for you to do, it doesn't give you that option. So I would suggest that you go down the manual side. You're not losing anything. On the contrary, at least in my opinion, you're gaining more by going here. So we're gonna go to continue. So the way that I like to name the campaigns is very simple. So I just like to go lead, and then I like to call out the ad that I'm launching here. So for our purposes today, I'm just gonna go with just listed. And then on this one, I'm gonna put YouTube. Why? Well, because typically I put the address. Well, I won't put the actual address here, because again, I wanna be very mindful of the individuals that are here, that have the listing, and also the people that live in this property. So I'm just gonna put this, street name, and we're gonna call it good. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna go through this little brief questionnaire. Now, are we running ads about credit? No. Next question. Well, let me zoom out, because I thought it'd be easier this way. But this way you see everything. We're gonna go to next. Is this about employment? No, it is not. Is this about housing? 100% it is. It doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent. It doesn't matter if you're just promoting yourself and you have no listing. It doesn't matter if you're listing a property. It doesn't mean if you're any type of real estate related, just go ahead and put yes. Anything that you can think of. I know that there's, well, what if I'm advertising an event? Well, the event has to do with real estate. Just put yes. Social issues? No. All right. Cool. So you are promoting a product or service that falls within housing. When you select declare category, you will opt into housing. You are likely not promoting a product or service that falls within blah, blah, blah. You can opt out or change category at any time. You're not going to need to do that. So you're just going to declare the category, and you're gonna continue going. Now, don't worry about campaign budget, and also don't worry about A/B testing. You can turn those on in the future, but right now I want you to be very in tune with the campaign that you're launching. The best way for you to be in tune is to come in here every single day and look at your metrics, look at your numbers, see the impressions, see the clicks, see the leads, really live in here. All right, so we're gonna name this the same, and we're gonna put no interest. You're gonna see why here shortly. So I'm gonna copy this. Now, with the naming convention, I put the type of campaign that it is. I put the interest that we're targeting in this particular ad set. We're not targeting an interest. We're gonna start cold, and it's a just listed campaign, and then also the type of the property that we're advertising. Since we launched so many, we need to keep track. And for the type of campaign that we're launching, it's a lead ad, so a lead form. So we're gonna keep it an instant forums. We're going to select the Facebook page that we want to launch the ad from, and we're going to scroll down. Now, the rest of the information is going to be good for you to read through and see what's going on, but for our purposes today, we're going to just go straight through it. So I'm going to start off with the $10 budget because I'm going to be split testing this multiple times over before this is done. So I just go ahead and call out the budget that I'm going to go with at the very beginning. And then I am gonna go past here. Don't worry about custom audiences. If you have a saved audience, if you have a customized audience, by all means, go ahead and include it. Now, if you have a custom audience, go ahead and reference it. Or if you have a saved audience that you like to go with, by all means, go there. But for our purposes today, we're gonna only look at the location. And just as a heads up, since we're playing in the special ads category, as you saw, we had to call out that it's a housing ad. You most likely aren't going to be able to, not most likely, for sure, you won't be able to hyper target as well as you used to. So the custom audiences don't work as well as they used to. The saved audiences for sure don't work as well as they used to, because it was basically a saved template. And for all intents and purposes, you can really only select the placements and also the interests, the ad copy, and the images. Those are really the four main things that you can split test. At least that was my 2 cents. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and advertise in the area that we found this property, which ended up being a little bit further south than I was even looking at. So that's okay, because as you can see, it is a large enough audience, it's 15-mile radius, and you see an estimated 1 million people. So for the budget that we're gonna be launching with, that's okay. Now notice again, we were looking up here, and as I was looking at different communities based off of the criteria that I wanted to advertise under $500,000, I ended up going and traveling a little bit south, and you can almost see the line, like I was sending out messages, and ultimately somebody in Mansfield said, yeah, absolutely. So we are good to go there. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna put 0 interest here. So remember, the no interest is something that I've called out right now. There's no interest. Now, as I start split testing, I'm going to start split testing Zillow. I'm going to start split testing Trulia. I'm going to start split testing this, that, and the other. So those are the interests that I'm split testing. So if I was split testing Zillow as an example, I would type that in, right? So I would be reducing the audience, and don't worry about the estimated audience. It's not going to be that earth shattering. Even if it's smaller, it'll always say, hey, you may get 0 leads. I've never seen that be the case. All right, so placements, that's something else that we need to look at. You can go with their advanced ad placements, but I wouldn't. I would go down the manual route and just go down the tried and tested strategy of just going into the feed. As you have more budget, as you have more options, as you continue to grow, then yeah, you can get a little bit more creative and start split testing different audiences. But for our purposes today, man, this is moving all over the place. Just stick with the feed. This is the only placement that we're gonna be advertising. So remember, the placement is where on the app, where on Facebook, where on Instagram, where on their audience network are you going to show up? Are you going to show up in Messenger? Or are you going to show up anywhere else? Our purposes today, we are only going to do the Facebook feed, and that's really the only one that we're going to target. So we're going to go to next. Now we're going to go back up here, and then we're going to call it out. Okay. Now this is where we start uploading the property. So I'm going to go here, and I am going to do this. I am going to go to add an image. Now I like to upload several different images, so it's very easy for me to split test down the road. So I'm just going to select one image to go with right now. I am going to accept the original, and I'm going to allow them to optimize it. And now I'm going to go down here and start building out the ad copy. And this right here is really what you're after. This ad copy sells. We have generated so much GCI from this very simple ad copy. So at the very top, we're spelling out it's just listed, it's a home that's ready for sale, and we put where it is in terms of the city. Then we share some unique features about the property. We're trying to sell it just enough, and then we give that call to action. Hey, learn more, get some additional information. So that is what we put in the actual ad copy itself. And what we do is, the next step here is we're going to put something like this. Will not last long. Learn more. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a form. So we're going to go to create a form. We're going to continue. We're going to go to settings, and we're going to say open. And when this open, your ad can be shared and anyone could submit this form. So let's just say somebody sees your ad and they think, hey, this is ideal property for Susie. She's my friend, so let me send this over to Susie. So once this friend sends it over to Susie, Susie can now submit their contact information. And guess what? When Susie submits her information, you actually don't get charged for that. That's pretty dope. All right, so we're gonna put here is just listed. We're gonna put more volume. You could put higher intent, you could put rich creative, but we just go with more volume all the time. And keep in mind, whenever I say you can, I'm not forcing you to do anything, right? I give you the options. You can go down this route, but trust that we've already split tested all of these. So there's a reason that I'm selecting the ones that I'm going, because it's to our benefit that this succeeds, because I'm running some real life money to this. So again, this is something that I was going to do for our agents that are coming online, so they can get some leads quickly as part of our agent first group. So if you want this to be done by our digital marketing company for you at no cost to you, then check out our partnership option down below. But again, you don't have to do it the same way that we're doing it. If you want to go and risk your own money on doing things that that you can absolutely go and do, or you can go down the route of that we're going to be doing it because we've already been split testing enough to know what's going to work. But anyway, that is up to you. All right, so we're going to use the image from the ad, and then we're going to go to just listed. Will not last long. Notice that this is so simple. It is something I'm not a really good writer to begin with. I'm just straight up putting information that I know is going to hit. Where can I send you the details? All right. And I'm going to delete the full name. I'm going to only ask for their first name, and I'm only going to ask for their phone number. Next, those are the 3 elements that I look for. You could try to qualify a Facebook lead as much as you want by asking 30 different things. Well, number 1, it's not going to work. 2, your ads have a really good chance of them not showing up. So if you're asking for the credit score, if you're asking for how much they make, if you're asking for so many different other features, not only will your deliverability go down because very few people are going to actually submit their information, but also going back to the special ad category, there are certain there are certain characters and words here that are going to trigger a automatically do not send or do not approve this ad because it is not in compliance with our advertising, just as a heads up. All right, so then here, this is something that you absolutely, without a doubt, need to have in your arsenal. You need to have a privacy policy on all of your campaigns. You could get away with maybe not having a real one at the very beginning, but trust that after a few days, it will get caught. So don't risk your ad account by not having a privacy policy that most of your CRMs give you anyway. Most of your websites that you already have give you this information, give you this privacy policy. If you don't have one, go online and create one. Facebook is not saying, hey, you have to have the perfect privacy policy. You just need to have one. You need to have this information. All right, so thanks, you're all set. Thanks. Check your email. I'll be reaching out to you shortly. Thank you. And we're gonna say this, call the business. And now we're gonna put our business phone number in here so then they can call us. Call us now. All right, so we're gonna create the form. And this is it. This is the actual ad campaign that we are launching. So I'm gonna press publish, and then I'm gonna turn it off. So why am I turning it off? Because there's still the automation portion, but I'm first gonna hit publish. Then we're gonna go out and create the automations through the technology that we have. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do some additional split testing once I have all that set up. Now, if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you hanging in there. Trust me, this goes a lot quicker once you know what's going on. But with that being said, I do wanna be as thorough as possible so you can take this one video and really implement it into your business immediately. So you can just see what's happening on the screen and duplicate it in your own efforts. That's really the goal behind this. With that being said, we've done 3 things already. So we've done the goal. So we've set our goals. We identified what we ultimately want as the outcome. So we have that clarity now. The second thing we've done is we have done the prep work. We've done prep work from the campaign where we were sending out the requests for the properties that were just listed. So that's something that we needed to have in order for us to actually go through and create the campaign. Now, the third thing that we've done is we've actually launched the Facebook ad campaign. Right now, it's going to go into Facebook to get reviewed. Depending on how long it's been since you launched ads, typically if you launch ads frequently, you're going to get approved pretty quickly. If you haven't launched ads quickly or recently or in a while or ever, it might take a little bit longer for you to get approved. So it's not uncommon for several hours to go by until you get an approval from Facebook. So just be patient there. The fourth step, which is what we're going into right now, is the actual automation of the follow-up. So let's talk about follow-up. What does that look like? There's 3 things that you're going to need to do to follow up. That's emailing, texting, and calling. Emailing, texting, and calling. Those 3 elements you're going to need. So either you email manually or you automate that. You text manually or you automate that. You call manually or you automate that or outsource that. Well, technically all those 3 you can outsource as well in terms of having somebody else do it. But at the end of the day, it's either manual or automation. So either you're doing it yourself or software's going to do it, or I guess if you outsource it, somebody else is going to do it for you. But at the end of the day, we're talking about those 3 things that need to happen. The most important part, and I cannot overstress this, the most important part is that you call. That's really where you're going to start converting a sizable amount of the leads that come through. If you have no plans of calling these leads, then go ahead and hit that like button and find another video because it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. The calling has to happen. If you could only do one of the 3, which you shouldn't have any excuses, you're paying money for this, I encourage you to do all 3. But if you can do the other 2, if you only do one, it's a better way of saying it, calling would have to be it. And we'll talk about sequence, like how often to call and all that fun stuff. But I just really want to stress that if you're going to convert leads, especially with Facebook ads, that has to happen. The follow-up needs to happen. So you're emailing, you're texting, and you are calling. That just has to happen, right? So now let's talk about the automation. So those are the 3 things that we need to do. Emailing, at this point, you probably have an email autoresponder or you have a CRM that sends out email. It's not that novel, so you should be able to do that. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. You will learn that today. So I'm going to show you the software that we're using, which many of you have. We use KV Core. If you have a KV Core, great. You're going to be able to follow right along. If you don't have a KV Core, if you have Follow Up Boss, if you have Sync or any other CRM out there or email autoresponder, this is that part that if you don't have an idea of where to go for the button pushing and all that fun stuff, you're going to need to add another video from YouTube. So there's plenty of videos out there that show you how to do this, the particular emailing component. You could watch that video in place of the KV Core portion. Well, I should say not in place, in addition to, because there's a lot of principles that I'm going to share while I'm going and showing you how to set this up on KV Core. So that's how we're going to automate the email. Now, how are we going to automate the texting? That's something that we're going to do through KV Core as well. KV Core allows us to do some texting. We're going to keep both of those things in one place. Now, you could also use other third-party software like Textedly, or you could use Twilio, I believe is what it's called. So there's other platforms that allow you to send out text automatically. And then the calling, you could do slide dial if you want to voicemail drop, if you want to do this in automated version, or you could manually do it. So of the 3 things that we're doing, emailing, texting, calling, the first 2 we're going to automate. The third one, I personally am going to outsource this because we have an in-house calling team. So I myself won't necessarily be doing the calls in this particular video. In other videos, you've seen me do the breakdown. For the length of this video or for the long term of this video, it's going to be the outsourced team that is the outsourced calling team that's going to make those calls. But for the portion of this video, you're going to see me making these calls in real time. So you get the benefit of that. But again, it's going to be done by somebody. It's either our internal team or it's going to be done by me. I don't recommend doing voicemail drops whenever you're doing this. I just haven't seen it be effective. And we've tried the voicemail drops. As soon as somebody gives us their information, boom, they get the email, boom, they get the text, boom, they get the voicemail drops. We just haven't seen the voicemail drops produce that much value. So that's why we do it either ourselves as agents, do it ourselves, or we have our in-house calling team that would do that, our phone support. So that's a little bit of the structure. It's a little bit of what we're doing from that standpoint. Now, before I go and share how we're gonna make all of these things come together, let's talk about what becomes the glue. We have Facebook ads. That is a lead generation campaign, which means that a form is gonna show up when somebody clicks on the ad. People are gonna submit their information. That is gonna stay in Facebook unless we connect it to whatever it is that we're using as our email software or our texting software or our calling software. So this connection, the glue that I'm talking about, this glue is gonna be Zapier. So Zapier is gonna be what we use to put them into KV Core, and also it's gonna be the tool that we use to integrate them into our phone system that we use, which is Open Phone. That's what we used as a VoIP line that allows our team members to call from there. So that's a little bit of how the structure goes. So we have Facebook leads coming in, and unless we pull them out there, they're not gonna make their way over here. So we're gonna automate that as well. Now, could you go into Facebook every single day or every single hour and then copy and paste it over to your CRM and everything else? Sure, you could, but do you have better things to do? I think that you do. So I'm gonna show you how to automate that. Okay, so we're gonna start on KV Core because we need to set up the campaign that we're gonna make the connection to Facebook with. We're gonna go to Zapier here in a short while, but we're gonna start with KV Core. Now, one quick note, you can use KV Core's partner, which is API Nation. API Nation is in your marketplace. So when you go to marketplace, you're gonna see API Nation. So integration partners, you're gonna see API Nation. I have not had the greatest luck with API Nation. Now, I think that they're great people. I know them. They're good people. I'm not saying that, but their product is inconsistent in my opinion. So here's the deal. I have found Zapier to be so much better. And neither of these are affiliates of mine, by the way. I'm just giving you my honest feedback here. If you have the capital, which to make the integration to Facebook lead ads, that is a premium expense. That's a premium connection that you have to get a Zapier account to execute on. So that would be a paid mechanism. But if budget is a consideration and you want to take your chances with API Nation, which will work some of the time, go through here. I have other videos in this channel that actually show you how to make this connection, but today we're not making that connection. Today I'm going to go straight to what works because I want to be respectful of your time and also my time, because again, this campaign is going to be one that our team is going to be executing on. So I have no time to waste here. So if you want to use them, it's free and all that fun stuff. They're already connected. Cool, awesome, great. Go ahead and go with API Nation. That's still going to be the second thing that you do, but just as a heads up and just as an aside, we're going to go over to Smart Campaigns. This is going to be the email drips that we set up. So with that being said, first, we're going to go over here to create a template. So this is a template that we're going to be able to pull in the future. So once you do this once, for the most part, you're not going to need to do this much ever again. So once you create your template, you're good to go. So you're going to go over here to the right hand side. You're going to create an email template. Now we're also going to create a text template, but that's for a little bit later on in the video. So we're going to go to email template. Now with the email template, what I like to do is I like to name it something that is going to allow me to come back to it very, very quickly and know which one I'm talking about. So for this purpose, let me put, what was the street address? Meadowside. We're going to put Meadowside E1. So E, it stands for email 1. And then the subject header is, here's your incredible home in Mansfield. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in their first name, put a comma. Thank you. Actually, you know what? We have drips on this, so I don't mind showing you those drips. Give me 1 second. Let me pull those up from our database. Okay, so one quick note, something I forgot to do before we actually came in and created the email template is the single property website. I did not include that in here. Why? Well, because I forgot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add this email template, and I'm gonna come back to it. So I'm gonna add this email template. Now I'm gonna go back over here, and I am gonna go to our lead engine and build a squeeze page. Now, why am I doing this? I'm building this squeeze page because it's gonna be easier for me to just send them this link that is gonna be branded to me anyway, so I can just deliver the goods without having to attach any PDFs, without having to attach any additional information on the property. I am making good on this particular request that they made. They wanted additional information on this property, and this is exactly what I'm giving them. So I'm going to go and find that property that we're marketing, that we have permission to do, and I'm going to put the source, and then I'm going to put buyer lead. And then I'm also gonna put, actually for our purposes today, that's gonna be fine because they're not gonna actually opt in here. I'm not gonna ask for their leads. I'm not gonna ask for their contact information with this squeeze page because I already have their information. So if I was trying to capture leads from this squeeze page, the single property page that we're creating, I would go to immediate. They would immediately need to give me their information before they could view the property. So for our purpose today, we actually don't need them to opt in. So this hashtag, it's not going to be that important. It will be important in the near future. There's going to be a hashtag that's going to be very important, but this isn't it. This is just me being a little bit more resourceful with the tools that we already have. All right, so we're going to go back to Smart Campaigns. We're going to go to templates, and there's the one that we just did. So we're going to do this. So we're going to copy and paste this, and we're good to go there. Now, one thing that I do want to encourage you here towards the end before you sign off is have a call to action or set an expectation. So the expectation that we like to set is that we're going to reach out to them shortly, right? So giving them a reason, because we're going to be following up with this individual. So we're going to give them a heads up. Now, keep in mind, they're getting a text at the same time. They're going to be getting a text in tandem with this email. Well, sometimes the email goes out first, sometimes the text goes out first. That's just a KV Core thing, but I'll be reaching out to you shortly. Answer any questions you might have. So we're just setting the expectation. Now, if you're going to do a call to action, have a call to action that would give them a reason to reach out to you. Find out how you can save $2,500 on this home, right? Something like that. Something that's going to give them a call to action, something that's going to give them reason to reach out to you. So for our purposes today, we're going to update this template because we are good to go. Now, this is us making right on the promise that we made them. We made them a promise of give us your contact information. We're going to send you additional information. That is what we were looking for. Now, what we're going to do, this is going to go out immediately. Now, we're going to build out the campaign here shortly, but what we're going to do is we're going to create another one. We're going to do email to, clone that template, and that's going to be email number 2. That's going to be the next one that we send. So for the next template, I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I'm just going to take one from our other campaign that we have going on right now, and it's a new construction campaign. So what I'm going to do is Meadowside. I fell in love with this years and years ago. This line has worked so well for us. Are you looking at Mansfield only, or are you open to other cities? You're going to find that people respond to that. So I'm going to give you some actual examples right now. Now, just 2 hours ago, the exact same thing happened. You see that I sent out the exact same text, and then they got the email. Then we received a text back within 3 minutes saying that they're looking at Arlington or Mansfield. Then we responded back. So this stuff works. Now, with that being said, we're going to add the template. Now, for our purposes today, for what we need, for what we're creating, we are just fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to My Campaigns. I'll build out the rest of the campaign after we get through recording. I just need to get this out into the world, and I'll add some additional emails and text so we have a more long-term nurture. Typically, we like to hit them up within the first 30 days pretty aggressively. But for our purposes today, I want to show you how to build out the campaign. So we were on templates. Now we are on my campaigns. We're going to add a campaign right here. We're going to go in the lead is new. We're going to go in the hashtag is here. So the hashtag that we're going to use for this particular campaign is going to be JL Meadow Side. Now you're thinking, what's JL? Just listed. I like to code things as much as I can. So JL Meadowside. This way I know very quickly which campaigns are absolutely crushing it. All right, so always run, locked, go to next. Buyer just listed Meadowside. Copy. This is gonna be internal, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, finish. I've created the campaign. I've created this. Think of this like an empty folder now where you need to put papers or things into this folder. So just listed. Right now I'm gonna put it active because I tend to forget to do that. We're gonna go to add an action. We're gonna add an email. Now this is where our naming convention pays off. We have Meadowside email 1. We have this ready to go. And we're gonna say that it is just listed Meadowside email 1. Me to contact, run immediately. Now this is something that, this is internal. The name is just internal, just so we see what the campaign is within. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna save changes. We're gonna add another email. Now this email is gonna go the following day. Gonna go email 2. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go email 2 from agent to contact. This is gonna be a day after. Boom. We're gonna save the changes. So we're building out, remember this campaign, think of it like a folder. Now we're adding things to this particular folder. Now we're gonna send out the SMS. We're gonna put Meadow T1. Hey, thanks for requesting additional info on the Justice at Home in Mansfield. We posted, are you looking at Mansfield only, or are you open to other areas? So we're gonna press save. Oops, I'm sorry. We're gonna put T1 this time. We're gonna put from agent, we're gonna put from contact, and we're gonna run immediately. Now, note what happened in that previous example that I shared with you. That text that you saw, the exact same text, solicited a response within 3 minutes. We could have been in an appointment. We could have been on vacation. We could have been anywhere else, but we might not have been in front of the computer to log into Facebook and then send out that text. Or even if it did get into our CRM, we saw the CRM notification, or we might not have seen the CRM notification, so there's nothing we could do to act on that immediately. So having these systems where we're automating emails and are automating text are vital, right? So we just want to make sure that we stress that enough. Now at this point, let's do a little quick reset. Remember, there's 3 things that we need to do. Number 1, we're emailing. Now you can do this manually or you can automate it. I'm showing you how we're automating this right now. I'm gonna go back and add our additional drip sequences, but for our purposes, we have enough to show you the how we build things out. Second thing is we are texting. We're either texting manually or we're automating this. So same thing here, we're automating this through KV Core. You might be using KV Core, great. If not, and you wanna automate it, then find other tools out there that will allow you to automate the emails and automate the text. There's plenty of them out there. So that's something that we've done already. So now what we need to do is we need to get that glue that I keep talking about, Zapier, to bring these 2 parties together. As soon as the lead comes in, to Facebook, we don't need it to stay on Facebook. We need it to go into our CRM so then it can fire off the emails and fire off the text. That's what we need. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna go over to Zapier and we're gonna make that connection. All right, so we're here on Zapier, which is gonna be the glue between the Facebook lead campaigns and KV Core. Now, if you're new to Zapier, get to learn it. There's some really cool features that it gives you. If there's some manual things that you're overly doing or you don't realize that you're overly doing, come into Zapier and just explore, dig around, see what automations can happen. So you see here, we have about 5,000 tasks that we have access to per month, and we just hit the first week, so we still have four more weeks to go in the month, and we're gonna be running out of tasks, so we're gonna have to go up another level. So we're already on the enterprise because we just do so much through Zapier. So it's a lifesaver, and it saves you money not just in the future but in the now. So we're gonna go to Zaps, and you could do the Copilot, nothing wrong with the Copilot, but it'll get better as you get going. So for our purposes today, we're just gonna go with the trigger point right here, and we're gonna say, as soon as the lead comes in on Facebook right here, as soon as the lead comes in on Facebook, we are going to send it over to KV Core. That is the task that we're gonna do. So we're already connected. I believe we're already connected with our account. So we're gonna say a new lead. We're gonna go to continue. And we have the Facebook lead campaigns, all of our other campaigns already connected. So we're gonna go to continue as well. Now, if I wasn't connected already, then, or if you're not connected already, all you had to do is just log in. It's very simple. It walks you right through it. Now we're gonna go to the page that we're launching this particular campaign from. And once you select the Facebook business page that you're launching the campaign from, you're gonna go to the form that you just created. So we just created this one. So the just listed Meadowside. And we're gonna continue. Now, given that there has been no ad spend, which means no leads have come through here, you're not gonna have a real life data set. So it's gonna go out there and it's gonna go out and create one for us. So it's gonna say something like TIG or something like that. I forget what it calls it. But anyway, test Facebook, the dummy lead and all this fun stuff. So it's just gonna give you some good information to test out the automation. So we're gonna go to continue. And now we're gonna connect it to KV Core. We're gonna go to KV Core right here in the event. We wanted to create a contact. Now, you can go with update a contact once if you're trying to modify some things, but this is not what you're doing. You're creating a contact. You're gonna continue and you're gonna choose your account. So one thing that happens a lot is I connect a new ad account all the time and I end up having multiple versions of the same thing. So this is one that we have currently going. So I know that because it already has a few zaps connected to it. We're going to continue. And now the first name. So this is what you're doing at the moment. You're mapping out where the information goes. Remember, you asked for the first name, you asked for the email, and you asked for the phone number. Those are the three elements that you asked for on your form. So every lead that comes into Facebook, you're going to push it over to KV Core. So we're going to go to here and we're going to put first name. We're not going to put anything in the last name because we didn't ask for it. Email. Phone number. All right, so lead status, we're going to go with new. Source, we're going to go ahead and put Facebook just listed. That way we know what where the lead came from. So again, this is mapping out what came from Facebook, is mapping that out into KV Core. All right, so date registered, that automatically comes into play, but let's make sure. City, I don't even update this on KV Core, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Actually, we don't even need this one either to come to think about it, because it automatically creates the record the way that we want it. It already has a timestamp, so we're gonna be good there. The most important part that you're gonna go and do though is the tags. Remember that whenever we set up the Smart campaign, we set a trigger point, and that trigger point was JL Meadowside. I'll have to go over and confirm it. Actually, I'll go over and confirm it right now. But right now, we're going to put JL Meadowside. That is the tag that's going to automatically be assigned to the leads that we generate. So before I forget, let's go back over here and see what we actually used as the trigger point. So we said JL Meadowside. So that right here, JL Meadowside, that's what we're using. So don't worry about putting the hashtag here. It automatically adds it on that end. So that's a pro tip right here. If you add another hashtag, you're adding two hashtags and it's not gonna read it correctly. So we're gonna go to continue. Now, another pro tip real quick. When you're testing this out, the test information is going to be the same. So here you're gonna see whenever you do the test step, it's gonna send over dummy data, email, and all that stuff. So if you have tested it out, this connection before in the past where you've imported leads into KV Core multiple times, you need to go over to the KV Core, go over to your KV Core, go to your contacts list. So just go to your Smart CRM and delete the test profile that's already been created. So I'm gonna fast forward to through that part real quick, just because I don't want to have to do a lot of blurring out. But I'm gonna make sure that I do not have this particular record already. So again, this information is gonna be the same. So I'm gonna go over to the CRM and see if I already have a test lead in here, which I'll delete in order for this to work correctly. All right, so I just confirmed that I do not have a test lead already in KV Core. So now I can go ahead and test the step. Now, if I go back over here, as that is testing, right now you're going to see everything blurred out because this is actual real life information and I just don't want to dox anybody. So when I go through here and I do the refresh, there should be a lead that shows up here, which is going to be the lead that we just sent over. And as you can see, the information that we needed is right up here. So we have the test data ready to go. Now it doesn't import phone number, doesn't import the additional information because there's nothing there. It just created a record that says test lead, dummy data, blah, blah, blah. Now what's important for us is one, that it came through. So congratulations. If it doesn't, you're going to have to try that again and kind of go back and rewatch this video and make sure that all the steps that we just listed out are there. So that's one, that it comes through. The second thing that you're going to want to look at is the hashtags. Did it have the hashtags that you wanted? All right, so that in and of itself, you are good to go. Now, this was just to show you how to do a very brief, very simple test that this is working. Now, once again, if you're still here, let me know in the comment section down below and put step 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Let me know that you're through step 4 out of 5. So number 1, we had goal clarity. We established the goal. What was the outcome that we were seeking? 2, we prepared the campaign. We went through and found homes that were ideal for the just listed campaign based on the criteria that we talked about. So we were looking for single story homes. We were looking for that relatable type of home, and we sent out 10 messages, 10 emails with the exact copy that you saw, requesting permission to market. And before we even finish the step number 3, which is actually creating the Facebook ad campaign, we already had a yes, absolutely, go ahead and market it. We had it by 2 individuals. Now, since then, no one else has responded back, and that's okay. Again, whenever you send out 10, there's probably going to be around 3 that say yes. So it's close to the averages. And then number 4, which is the step that we're on right now, is the automation. Remember, we're looking at 3 different things that we're trying to automate, or 3 things that we're trying to create with the follow-up. 1 is email, 2 is text, 3 is calling. We have to do that as a follow-up. There's no way around it. So emailing, texting, calling, those are the 3 modalities that we're gonna follow up with all of our leads on, or with, or I don't know. I'm it's getting late. So with that being said, with those 3 follow-up things, we have to either do those manually or we need to automate them. You're seeing how we automated both the emailing and the texting. So that leaves us number 3, and that is the calling. Calling is something I do not encourage that you automate. I'm not saying send out, I'm suggesting that you do not send out the voicemail drops. So voicemail drops, for those of you that don't necessarily know what that means, is voicemail drops are basically, they go, this is a tool that you can use like a slide dial. I think there's one that's called cowboy dial or something like that, where the calls that are made, it might ring once, maybe might ring once, but most of the time it's either rings once at most, but most of the time it just goes straight into the voicemail. So it forces your message into the voicemail to where the user never gets to pick up, and then it's in the voicemail that they actually hear the message. So this is automated, so it's basically just sending an email but for voice. That's what a voicemail drop is, and from our experience, that doesn't work. So what I encourage you to do is either you make time to make these calls yourself or hire somebody that's going to do this for you. So we have an internal team that does this follow-up. So that's something that we can count on. So that's why we can have multiple ads going on 24/7, because our team is going to follow up and they're very effective at what they do. So with that being said, the follow-up that we do through the phones, that is all done manually. Now, what isn't done manually is the admin side. So I mentioned to you that I want to show you everything that I possibly can. So one thing that I want to show you is how we automate things to another level. So while our calls are being made by a human, by a person, the back office, the admin things, they don't need to be done in this way. They don't need to be done in such an archaic way of having to type everything in. So what I'm saying is, at the same time that we're shooting this information into KV Core, which we could realistically make the call from this KV Core phone number. We could actually automate all three. We strategically, for our purposes, for our business and the way that we run our business, we actually choose to make the calls outside of KV Core for a few more reasons, but this is not going to really be relevant to what we're having a conversation on today. So the emailing, the texting, and the calling can actually all be done through KV Core. So within my organization, within my team, within my group, we decide to use another feature, another software to actually make the calls. Or to make the calls from, and that is OpenPhone. OpenPhone is what we use. So there's one very small automation that we do where we at the same time that we're sending the lead into KV Core, so the emails and the text can go out, we send the same lead over to OpenPhone. So our phone team, our team that's on there, they can actually make the calls from there. So that's why we do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And now we're back at Zapier. So we're going to go to Create. We're going to go to Zaps. And once again, we're going to go straight to the point. We're going to go to Facebook, lead ads. We're going to say as soon as a new lead comes in, we're going to continue. We're going to use the same page. We're going to use the exact same page in the exact same form. We're going to continue. We're going to pull that same test lead and we're going to continue. And then we're going to go to OpenPhone. Now, before I confuse this any further, there's a few Zapier savants out there that are just waiting to get down to the comment section and say, hey, you could actually all do that in one Zap. I recognize that. I recognize that we can do that. I absolutely recognize that. However, I wanted to explain it this way so you see how things are broken up. I do not want people to think that you have to have OpenPhone, you have to have KV Core, you have to do this. And complexity is the enemy of execution. So I'm keeping this as simple as possible so you see how these connections fit and where they fit in. So while I could do this entire thing plus some additional pretty cool stuff through AI, we're not going to be doing that today. Right now, we are just doing the step-by-step so everybody can stay on the same page. Again, I'm not trying to get y'all to overly do everything. I just want us to get to the end so you can have a really functioning funnel that will actually allow you to convert. So we're going to go and do that. All right, so we're going to create or update a contact. So here's what's happening. As soon as the lead comes in, we already set up the automation or the connection or the Zap that goes over to KV Core. That's going to get launched. Life is going to be good. Now what we're doing here is we are sending the information, the same information over to OpenPhone, which is the VoIP line that we use to make the calls from. So that way multiple team members can have this information as opposed to them having to type this information in and risk errors or taking time. We're going to go ahead and put this into their system or our VoIP line. So we're going to continue and we're going to continue again. Then we go to the first name because again, that's the information that we collected. We go to phone numbers and then we're going to go to the email. Once again, that is the information that we collected. And this again is just more to, we don't have to import email or anything like that because we're not sending emails through OpenPhone, which I don't think you can anyway. But this is just to have a more complete profile. So this way, when it goes to KV Core, it also goes to OpenPhone. So we're going to go to continue. And we're going to test the step to make sure that it goes through. So let me hit test step. All right, so that has gone through. And there is our test lead. So now once again, we're going to rename it or name it to begin with. And we're going to put just listed new lead. This time it's going to be KV Core. No, it's going to be Facebook to OpenPhone. So OP. We're going to publish and we're ready to go. All right, so at this point, things have been automated. Now, I want to talk about some alternative ways to automate your system, or an alternative way to do your follow-up is a better way of saying it. Everything that we're doing right now, so as far as the email and the text and the phone number, that's all correct in terms of where we want to send it because we have some automated features there. So we have KV Core that could realistically do all three. It could do the emails, it could do the text, and we could also be making the phone calls out of there. I mentioned earlier, there's a reason that we're not doing the phone calls, but that's a story for another day. So that's all well and good. Now, something that if you don't have KB Core as an example, or if you don't have open phone, or you don't want to take on those expenses for whatever reason, or just don't want to use those, what I strongly suggest is that you send the leads that are being generated from Facebook, send them out of there to somewhere that you will be looking at them daily. Email them to yourself if need be. So one of a huge builder that we work with from the digital marketing side, this is the exact same. This is the exact way that we deliver the leads for them. For them, it's an email to their inbox. So every single day they're getting a ton of leads. They're getting 30 plus leads a day. So it's going into their inbox, and then they're also getting fed into a Google Sheet. So it goes to Google Sheet, it goes to the email inbox, and then the team takes over. So that's the way that they choose to do it. That's the way that they choose to automate their business. So that's one alternative. You can do it that way, or just do the Google Sheet and always be on top of that. But the one thing that I want to encourage you to do is consider Notion. I don't have a Notion affiliate or anything like that, but Notion is how we operate our entire business at this point. Our internal team is on it, our production team is on it, our real estate group is on it. Everybody is on Notion, and it allows us to communicate a lot better. And Notion is actually what we use as our transaction desk. There we have all of our leads going into that. So in addition to the leads going into KB Core and Open Phone, we actually have an automation that will take them from KB Core into Notion, and it'll tag them the way that we want. It'll have the people that are assigned to that lead get labeled and all that fun stuff. So we actually don't even operate within KB Core itself. We just use KB Core as a tool, as a feature, as a way to communicate, but it's actually in Notion where all of us are playing. So we have our production team there updating in real time where the leads are at, what if we're under contract, if we just closed, or when the expectation date closes, where the leads are at. So are they out there searching? This is what we use for everything. So here again, what I'm suggesting here is have a centralized location that you're going to look to time and time again, especially when you're looking at Facebook ads and Facebook leads. There is a significant amount of follow-up that needs to happen, and it's not going to happen immediately that you're going to be going and showing a home the next day oftentimes. So this will have a longer close window, so you can expect to take a little bit longer. If you're following up, expect a little bit longer to close something from Facebook ads. It's not going to be overnight. Overnight, you will be getting leads. I mean, trust me on that. You're going to see that happen here shortly. So that's something that you can take to the bank, but you can't take it to the bank unless you follow up. So again, those are the 4 steps. Now we have to go on to step number 5. Now with step number 5, that involves the calling. That involves reaching out to the individuals that submit their contact information. Remember, we're asking for the email, we're asking for the phone number, we're asking for their first name. And if you copied the Facebook ad copy that we just brought to the table, you're gonna get leads. Trust me, you're gonna get leads. This works extremely well. It's worked. We've generated most likely over, I'm not trying to exaggerate, over 50,000 leads. I mean, that's very comfortably over 50,000 leads for all of our agent partners with that ad copy. And these are the ones that I'm personally in relationship with, that I know of. There's a ton of people that watch this content. So a variation of that I have shared before to my email database of thousands of agents. So it works. So something else that I wanted to do a very brief session on was about the calling aspect. Now, the calling in and of itself, you will have access to the script. So just send me an email at admin@JaimeResendiz.com. So admin@JaimeResendiz.com, and comment down below scripts. We're gonna let this campaign launch. Now, before that, I want to show you how we go about split testing. So I mentioned to you that we're going to publish the campaign, and we're going to pause it until we set up the rest of the automation. So now that we've set up the rest of the automation, which I still need to come back to and fill out the rest of it for the rest of the 30 days that we have as a follow-up, which I will be doing, I want to show you how we go about and do some additional split testing for the Facebook ads that we launch. So right now, this is the ad copy that's getting prepared to launch. So this is something that I don't think we even have it formally approved yet, and that's okay, it will be soon. But all we have to do is we duplicate this right here, we keep the original campaign, and we hit duplicate. Now what I'm gonna do here is the only thing that I'm gonna split test, is the image. I'm gonna let this go as organically as possible without doing too much to affect it. So I'm gonna get these. Whenever you duplicate it, it annoyingly adds the Instagram feed again. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna split test the image. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna trash that one, and we're gonna add it. Now I'm gonna touch the ad copy because I know it works incredibly well. Now I know it doesn't look like it's too different, which it isn't, and that's okay. It is different enough. So I know it doesn't look too different, but you're gonna be surprised. Just keep split testing. So I'm gonna be split testing the image for the ad copy number 2. So for me, again, I just put I2 just to denote it's gonna be image 2. All right, so while that's going, so remember when I said, hey, I'm gonna do 10, and then that way when I duplicate it, it's just ready to go. That's what I meant. So I'm gonna let these two battle it out real quick. And I don't know if I added, we'll test it out right now. I'm gonna do another one, and I think I added an inside shot. If I didn't, we can do that. All right, so now we're going with I3. We're gonna go down here. The only thing that I'm split testing is the image. Remember, whenever you're split testing, you only want to split test one thing at a time. If you start moving too many different things at a time, you're not going to know what works, and you're also not going to know what doesn't work. So it defeats the purpose of split testing altogether. So this was the image that we did of inside. All right, so for our purposes today, this campaign is finished now. So we'll wait for this to publish and be done. Okay, so I know we're technically in the calling phase, and this is what we need to talk about when it comes to calling. Call as quickly as possible. So that's gonna be tip number 1. We all know speed to lead is a real thing. We have to be ultra fast here with the calling on the leads that we get. So that's number 1. So that's why with you having these alerts or you having these feed into your multiple systems, there's a high likelihood that you're gonna know as soon as the lead comes in. Right? So that's going to be very valuable for us. The second thing that I want to encourage you to do is if your CRM has or your call system has a app, go ahead and install it on your phone so you get these real-time information. So here with KV Core, it does have an app, and I can already tell that we just received a lead, not from this campaign, but from our new construction campaign that we just launched again. We pulled the text copy from whenever we were building the campaign. So make sure that you download the app so you get these real-time information. Again, it's speed to lead is going to be super crucial. So have make the call as quickly as possible, download the app. Whenever you're calling these individuals, again, you have access to this script. All you have to do is email me at admin@jaimeresendiz.com, and we'll make sure that we get that out to you. So send me that email and comment down below scripts, and we'll make sure that that goes out to you. The third thing that I want to advise you on is as you're making the call, get right to the point and immediately reference, you're going to see it in the script, but immediately reference where it is that you're calling from. You're going to catch people cold. They will have submitted their information off of Facebook, but after they submit the information on Facebook, they're scrolling through and going on and on about their day. So even if you call them a minute after, 3 minutes after, 10 minutes after, they're not going to really remember what they opted in. So immediately you're going to immediately need to tell them, hey, this is Jaime from Facebook, or hey, we were advertising a property we just posted a property on Facebook and you requested a follow-up. So I wanted to reach out. Right, so let the emails do their thing, let the text do their thing, but also make your calls as quickly as possible. We have the scripts that we can send you, so make sure that you get access to them, and those are the calls that need to be made. Now, for our purposes today, as this continues to gather up steam, we will be making a follow-up video on it, and that's only going to be of me calling the leads that get generated. So we've done a similar series before, I believe maybe a month ago already, where I called all the leads that came in, but through a new Facebook ad campaign. So if you're interested in that particular series where I show you very similarly how to build out this entire funnel, this entire system, where we talk strategy, we talk where to go get the where to go and get how to prepare the campaign, how to launch the ads, how to connect it on, how to automate the follow-up through KV Core and through other systems. That is already on the YouTube channel, so make sure that you check that out, and I will link it up here as well. Outside of that, check out our next video where, as the leads are coming in, I'm going to be turning on the camera and I'm going to call them in real time so you see exactly how we're converting these leads so effectively. Outside of that, have a great day.